Okay, guys, here we are, a OU battle. I'm going to turn the volume down really quickly. I always forget to do that. And as you can see, I'm using a new team, and my opponent's bringing a rain team, if I ever did see one. 2 Swift Swimmers, Drizzle Politoed, and Hurricane Abuser in, what are you, Tornadus. God, I was going to say Thunderous, and I'm like, no, and I was going to say Landorus, and I'm like, no, but it's okay, because Rotom Wash and Azumarill both appreciate the rain reasonably. Gengar's not going to be so usable in this battle, and Landorus is not going to have the best times, but Mawile might be able to do alright, so we will see. My opponent's going to lead with either the Politoed or the Deoxys, I would guess. Quite interesting. Makes it quite difficult to play around. I'm thinking going out into Mandibuzz. We can do a little bit here and there with Mandibuzz. So I'm just going to do that, and then we should be able to go for a knockoff. And I can... Now you've swapped out into your Politoed, so I knock off your Damp Rock. There it is. I wasn't sure when I said Damp Rock, but I would have assumed you would have had it considering you do have a rain team, so that seemed to be reasonable to me. And from what I can see of your team, I can swap in Rotom Wash, and then I can Volt Switch out fairly easily. So I am more than happy with doing that. Because you have, what have you got? 3 Pokemon weak to it, and nothing that really appreciates it. We do get Toxic. Okay, interesting. That is not ideal, but I can still Volt Switch out, and that's exactly what I'm about to do. I don't expect my opponent to stay in, but, I mean, funny things have happened in Pokemon. You can predict switches and all sorts of crap, so I don't know. We can see. But I'm just, first I'll do the Volt Switch, and then I'll decide what's happening after I see what my opponent does with either the swap out or with staying in. Again, I can't tell until I see it, so, you know, it's stupid to say anything otherwise, really. And you did stay in. You managed to take that, which is interesting. Would you be so bold as to predict a switch? I'm thinking it's possible, therefore you're going for another Toxic, and then I want to bring in Gengar. Just because Gengar, I find he's probably a bit expendable, because I don't think he's going to be able to do anything with 2 Swift Swim Pokemon on the field. He doesn't really appreciate the Scald, but you know, he's going to have to take it. I really don't have any other way of breaking it to your Gengar. Now, although Sludge Wave does hit harder than Shadow Ball, my opponent could go out into the Scizor, and that would be immune to the Sludge Wave. So I have to go for Shadow Ball, because good damage is good damage. If I get rid of this Politoed now, that is awesome. If he swaps out, that is somewhat frustrating, but can't do anything about it. And I do not outspeed much on my opponent's team, with the Politoed able to come back in and do the old Swift Swim routine. So, because of that, I'm thinking it's worth sacking off Gengar. Like I was saying before, it doesn't really put pressure on any of my opponent's team members. So, let's go for the Shadow Ball again, let it die through this Hurricane. It was unfortunate, but I think it had to happen, really. I think it had to happen. Let me think now. I think going out into Rotom and Volt switching out would be the best play. So we're going to do that. We're going to go for that. We're going to see what my opponent wants to do. And then we will act accordingly. You go for the U-turn first. That's okay. Who do you swap into? Scizor. I get some clean Volt switch damage off on you. Scizor's going to be your Mega. I would assume it's going to be your Mega anyway. I mean, it fits the bill because it's the only thing that can Mega Evolve. Ooh, I do not really touch Scizor on this team, do I? That's not nice. I just realized that. That is not good at all. Shit. I'm thinking of going out into Landorus. Landorus should be able to resist Scizor pretty well. And, we could get up a substitute. Yeah, we could. I'm going to do that. Let's get up a substitute. As you swap out into Tornadus, I was expecting you to do something like that. And now we can go for a Sludge Bomb, and our Sheer Force Life Orb set will say that you can receive a lot of damage from that even though you outbeat us. So this is what makes things interesting right about here. You break our sub, that's fine, and Sludge Bomb does nowhere near as much as I thought it would have. Wow, that's depressing. I am Sheer Force Life Orb though. I don't understand how that didn't do that much damage. I don't understand at all. I mean, I don't think Hurricane would do a lot of damage to us though, so I mean, I could go for a Sludge Bomb again. Not that Sludge Bomb does a lot by the damage that it did last time. 37 is just not enough. I'm thinking about going into Rotom. Yeah, let's do that. Let's go into Rotom. As you stay in, go for another Hurricane, but you miss. Even if you didn't miss, Rotom would have been okay with it receiving a Hurricane there. And I'm going to go for a Volt Switch here. So we'll see what you do. If you go for a U-turn, then I get damage up on that. You hard swapped out. Now, I'm thinking that thing is choiced then. But that's okay, because you have 5 turns left of Rain. So I could probably abuse this as much as you could at the moment. And let me think here. I mean, the Deoxys could bring up Hazard, so I still want to have Mandibuzz, but actually Azumarill will put a fair amount of pressure on your team right here, so I'm going to bring in Azumarill. And then we're going to see what we're going to do from there. You bring in Tornadus. I'm going to go out into Rotom, because Rotom doesn't mind seeing this thing come out, and it resists the Hurricane, so that's cool. And this is where I will go for a rest, I think, in case you want to hit me hard. Oh, so you're not choice, you went for Focus Blast. Okay, I called that very well, going for that rest, and we wake up all nice and refreshed. Good job, Rotom. I'm very happy with you. Right here is a nice time to go for a Volt Switch, as you hard swap out. So I'm not certain why you would hard swap out in a situation like that at all, to be honest. To be quite honest, I really don't understand. This is interesting. Would an Aqua Jet that's unboosted kill a Scizor in the rain? Not if you're defensive. I don't think so. I'm going to go into Landorus. He swapped out on it last time, so that makes me feel pretty comfortable. Also, the more turns that I waste of this rain, the better, considering the 2 swiftness. That doesn't mean that none of his Pokemon have Rain Dance, but based on his team, I'm thinking it's unlikely. We've seen Focus Blast, Hurricane, and U-turn from the Tornadus. We haven't seen what the Kabutops and the Kingdra are going to do yet. But he did Mega Evolve, so now we're going to see what he does. He just goes for a boost. Okay. The rain is down. That's good. I'm happy seeing that rain gone. And would you swap out or stay in? That's an interesting thing. Psychic won't do a lot to the Scizor because it will resist it. Screw it, I can get a special defense drop, so I'll do that. You managed to get rid of my substitute with a Bullet Punch. Now that's interesting. I wouldn't have thought you would have been able to achieve that. But I'm going to go for an Earth Power, because you shouldn't be able to kill me with a Bullet Punch, surely. You shouldn't be able to kill me off. And I don't think you're going to go out into Tornadus. You get a crit. I can guarantee that that crit mattered. That is ridiculous. Rotom can come out, hard press this Scizor, and go for a Will-O-Wisp. Because burning Scizors is what Rotom likes to do. Rotom doesn't mind burning other Pokemon, but he's quite happy burning a Scizor or two. And if he burns Kingdra, that's fine, because Kingdra can be a special or a physical attacker, and I can't really tell. If he burns the Kabutops, I've got a feeling that's a physical attacker, so that'll be nice. Burning the Deoxys will wither that thing down quickly, and we are burning a Deoxys, so it's not what I would have guessed would have been happening, but either way, that's what it is. And I'm going out into Mandibuzz right now, because if you bring up hazards or screens or whatever, I'm going to defog them away, and if you go for a hit, I will be immune, and there you go, there's the immunity. I'm quite happy about that. This time around, you cannot simply swap out into your Politoed to take a hit. So you're going to receive a fair amount of damage, and I'm going to knock off whatever item you choose. There's the Rain Dance. There's the Rain Dance. So we still did have Rain Dances to worry about by the looks of it. Okay. I was under the impression that something else would have a Rain Dance. It would seem unlikely that he would just be willing to sack off his Politoed, as it was, but, you know, crazy things have happened. Unfortunately, my best play here is to go for a foul play with Mandibuzz. If you set up your Kingdra with the Dragon Dance, I would be more than happy. So let's see that happen. You go for a Scald, so you're a special Kingdra. And you get a Burn. Wow, that is unbelievably lucky. That is unbelievably lucky. I mean, the fact that you have a special Kingdra on a team that seems to have 2 physical attackers, and I'm guessing the Scizor's more bulky, seems unusual. Seems very unusual, but I guess it's not impossible, and I don't know, I'm just kind of annoyed that you got that burn right there, because that foul play would have done a fair amount of damage if you hadn't. And I think Rotom is happy to come in and absorb any hit the Kingdra has. Actually, I could bait this thing to go for, I'm assuming it's a Draco, because you won't be able to hit Rotom very hard, and I can swap out into something like Azumarill or Mawile. Neither of whom like to be burnt, though. That's the problem I have. And they both appreciate having as much HP as possible as well. This is difficult. I think I'll just go for a Volt Switch because Rotom should be able to live a hit fairly well. There's the Dragon Pulse. Doesn't do a lot of damage because Rotom is pretty darn bulky. And we get a fair amount of damage off on that Kingdra. So, I am pretty happy right here. And I'm going to go into Mawile. And, I am going to Mega Evolve and go straight for a Sucker Punch, because that's my best option right here. Even if you swap out, which would suck, it is my best option to go for, because by no means do I want to end up predicting wrong, you going for a Scald, and then me being burned. That would be the worst thing that could happen right now. So, he goes out into Scizor, expecting what I was doing. That's fine, because again, Rotom doesn't mind seeing Scizor, so I'm going straight back out into Rotom. And now, I'm pretty sure that now my opponent has no way of bringing back the rain, because actually no, that's not true. I don't know what the Kabutops wants to do. As you go for a Swords Dance, decent work. So I'm going to go for a Willow as we outspeed you, and we get a nice burn off. The knockoff will simply not do enough damage, and the burn will impact on you heavily. I do resist the Bullet Punch, so I will be able to live that, and a Hydro Pump should be able to kill you. It will do a fair amount to the Kabutops, and the Kingdra isn't going to last a lot longer, so I'm happy to go for a Hydro here. And we nearly killed off the Scizor. It will die to the burn damage. So there we go. That's good. My opponent really wanted to get some attack boosts back, as my opponent forfeited. Okay, well, that's what it is. I played around the rain team pretty nicely, so I'm happy about that. Ironically, Azumarill was the only water type to... No, that's not true. Kabutops didn't get a go in the rain either. I was about to say Azumarill was the only water type to not get a go in the rain, but neither Azumarill nor Kabutops got to see the battlefield today. Okay, we get another battle against a very powerful team. Oh my goodness. Mega Scizor. I guess it doesn't have to be Mega Scizor, but I always anticipate Mega Scizor rather than Mega Garchomp. Defensive Mandibuzz. Special defensive... oh god, what's its name? I can't even think anymore. Sylveon and a Heatran. So, that being said, Landorus does a fair amount of work because it's able to scare out Heatran and the Sylveon. Nothing really appreciates seeing Landorus, to be completely honest, but in any case, I think I'll lead with Rotom, because Rotom is also a good Pokemon to have for this team that I have against my opponent, and you end up leading with Landorus. Okay, I want to just go for a Hydro and reduce your damage impact. So I'm going to be doing that. Ideally, burning you... Actually, no, I was going to say ideally burning you would be good, but burning you is not the best thing, simply because you are a special attacker, as he brings out Sylveon, and that makes sense and everything, but I'm okay with you bringing out Sylveon, actually. So I'm going to go for a Volt Switch, and I'm going to swap into Gengar, expecting a Toxic. Gengar doesn't mind seeing a Toxic or two. Let's go for a Hyper Voice. Okay. Gengar can take a Hyper Voice or 2 or 3 or even 7. Just why not? Why not 7? And part of me is expecting the prediction of the Poison type move, and therefore you will swap out into your Heatran or your Scizor. That is very possible. That's why I wish that I would have chosen Will-O-Wisp for this Gengar, but I didn't. So I'm going to go for Shadow Ball. Let's go for Protect to scout me out. So now I'm going to hope my opponent thinks I don't have it, or that I'm some sort of choiced Gengar, and I'm going to go for the Sludge Wave on this turn. No, and predict into Mandibuzz. That's okay. Mandibuzz doesn't necessarily appreciate the Sludge Wave. So that's cool. And they do have Dazzling Gleam, which should be able to kill him off from here, because it's super effective damage. Oh no, 42%. That's not quite right. That is not as much as I wanted. Okay. It's unfortunate, but we can't have everything in this world, can we? Can't have everything in this world. Let me think. This is difficult. This is really difficult. This is one of the harder teams that I'll ever have to verse, I think. It's a very well-structured team. Part of me wants to go for another Dazzling Gleam, so I think I'll do that. At the very worst, you go for Foul Play and you kill me off, but this Mandibuzz will not be able to heal up from where it is. That's simple case in point. It cannot heal up from where it is, and I will be able to kill it off. So I'm quite happy with that. Just about anything should be able to kill it off. My Mandibuzz can't kill your Mandibuzz. That's silly to think that it could, but let me think real quickly. This is I think this is time for Landorus. Landorus will be able to kill you off with a Sludge Bomb, so I'll be doing that. I don't think you would predict and go out into Heatran, but you do have your own Landorus, so I guess that's possible. That is possible. You went out into Scizor. Okay, well that's another prediction you could have made, I guess. You know, all that. But even still, I don't get this, because how does Scizor hurt Landorus? I really don't know. So I'm just going to go for an Earth Power here. I mean, if I'm wrong, you show me how, but I mean... Knockoff? Nah, 42%. I mean, losing that Light Bulb is unfortunate, though. It would have been really nice to keep that. That being said, Bullet Punch won't phase me. The only thing you could go into that really avoids the Earth Power is your Landorus, because Mandibuzz will die next turn, and your Landorus simply will not appreciate if I predict it. So I'm going to go for a substitute, because why not? In you go with your Sylveon. Okay. That's alright. Because you will not be able to break myself. Actually, no, Hyper Voice goes through subs, doesn't it? Oh, that's annoying. That's really annoying. Sludge Bomb doesn't do enough. Oh, man, I forgot about sound-based moves. Not good. Not good at all. Okay. I think now is a good time for Mawile. I want to say it's a good time for Mawile, but I don't think it is. Good time for Azumarill, because Azumarill can start Aqua Jetting everything. Belly Drum Aqua Jet has hurt everything in existence ever, and this will be no exception. You have let me set up my Azumarill, and the Aqua Jets will start rolling in. Aqua Jet is at the very worst neutral to everything that my opponent has. Garchomp hit neutrally, Heatran hit super effectively, Sylveon hit neutrally, Mandibuzz was hit neutrally, Landorus hit super effectively, and Scizor hit neutrally. So, the only thing that you could do that I am aware of is go out into Scizor and pray that a Bullet Punch kills me off. But I don't see that happening. The Rocky Helmet on Mandibuzz was a nice touch, but I don't think that'll be enough, since Azumarill is pretty bulky, and I'm pretty sure it could take a Scizor. Alternatively, it seems that your play is even better. You want to get rough skin damage off on Azumarill and then try Bullet Punch it later. I'm going to let that happen though, because I can't afford to swap out Azumarill. Aqua Jet will kill you off. There's the rough skin. You did not have the combo of rough skin and Rocky Helmet, which is interesting on Garchomp, and I have tried it on one, and I'm happy to leave that Garchomp the way it is, but it is unusual, I will admit that. That being said, from here, I think Azumarill is prepared to sweep. I mean, you can't protect and stall me out of Aqua Jet, so I might as well just go for it. I mean, I don't have a Life Orb or anything like that. You've already seen my Citrus Berry. It's already been activated, so getting that teeny tiny bit of health, I don't think that'll help you. Didn't help you. Really didn't help you. Azumarill is prepared to sweep. And this is the thing about Azumarill. A Choice Banded one is powerful, but if you set up your Belly Drum Azumarill at the right time, boom, everything will die. Well, okay, not everything, I'm wrong. There are certain things, but an unbelievably large amount of the metagame dies. And not even the Bullet Punch is enough. So I think from here, Azumarill will clean up. Like I said, my opponent's already saying GG, and I'm pretty sure that unless you've got some weird Focus Sash Heatran or Focus Sash Landorus, that I will sweep. Protect does nothing. I've still got 26 Aqua Jets left. So it's just a case of my opponent's trying to, get a bit more out of the battle, but it's not going to happen. It's unfortunate because it's a really good team as well. Honestly, like, if you guys want to make a team around these 6 Pokemon, they are really nice to have. So this time around, we did manage to sweep, and I have to say that I am pretty darn happy with my team. You guys wouldn't be able to know, but I have bred every single one of these Pokemon in my Pokemon Y copy, and that's why I decided to put an OU team together out of all those Pokemon. Of course, the exception is the Landorus. I did have to bring that one over from Pokemon Black 2 and White 2. The one I actually did bring it over was Black 2, in case you're wondering. But otherwise, everything was bred in the Kalos region. Sets and everything, not just and even EV spreads. I made them as perfect as I possibly could to get ready to go for if I was going to do a battle in there. But that shows you can create good teams. I mean, again, I know Landorus is an exception, but that's just because my team is kind of awkwardly structured and stuff. It is good, as you can tell, but without it, it just doesn't quite work. So anyway, it doesn't matter. That's not the point. Hopefully you guys enjoyed League of Life. Leave a like if you did. Subscribe for more Pokemon content, and I will see you guys next time. Freddy Fishfinger, out.